And then at 4, 5, 6 seconds, we go off it. You can come under if you want. We got till about 6 minutes before we actually. Oh, I should probably mute the microphones.
Please listen carefully.
To the set, places, where's the lighting crew? What's the sound guy doing smoking weed over there? Oh my god.
Hello, I am the Ronin Pawn.
And I'm Harvey, and welcome back to Harv and Porn.
And Harv.
And Porn.
And Harv.
And Porn.
We could just sit here all day. We
be-
could do this consistently if you'd like that. An entire episode.
Next week,
And Paul.
special episode.
Hello, Insights LG,
yes.
Matty Hayes, Random Aim Mosaic Task Force, It's a Secret to Ever, Pony 69, Bavelia. Bavelia? Bavelia. See you in Jet, and Sir Emo Chappington. Ain't you a barrel of fun? I am. Thank you. Thank you for saying so.
I'm more of a bowl of fun, you know? Patterned, ornate, decorated. You're just a
Kept
barrel.
on a shelf
Just,
behind, like, glass until someone dies. Just,
yes.
I was
Given
just
as a
watching...
wedding present and then never used.
I've been watching like a whole bunch of Would I Lie to You on YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, I've been who is it? Dave something? I've just been watching all of his clips
David
and
Mitchell.
David
I
Mitchell.
Fucking love the guy. He's got a great sense of humor. My mum. Oh,
What?
thank you very much for the gifted sub. Mosaic
That was
Task Force.
me.
Yeah.
I'm a sub now.
Well, he did it for me a month ago. I think my subscription runs out in a few days. So was it you? Was it Mosaic who did it? I think it was Mosaic who did it.
Yes, it was. Yeah. But yeah, I've been watching a lot of Would I Lie to You and David Mitchell stuff, and I think he made a joke about that at some
David
point.
Mitchell. I have to say quickly, there's a TV show called. Have you heard of the Graham Norton Show?
Oh, I feel like I've heard of it but never seen it.
Yeah, it's one of those just get celebrities on and let them promote whatever they're doing currently, basically. My mum went to go watch live from the audience, and David Mitchell was on, so she was able to cheer. I don't know what she did.
That's very cool. Yeah.
She's probably cheering very loudly.
He's hilarious. He is very good at what he does. But yeah, that was just a moderately stolen joke there on, Would I Lie to You? Him talking about, I think it's always good to just have, like, objects in your house that are really just there for after you die, someone to have to box up. Because everybody's got that cupboard full of china and whatnot, and there's just no purpose to it other than after you're dead, someone will have to throw it away. So it's a good final memory for everyone. Remember this piece of china we didn't have any use for? Oh,
it just represents
goddamn!
you. Your dead corpse. There's one thing of his that I quote regularly, which is he said at one point, I don't remember which show it was on, but I'm a very knowledgeable person. If I had to remember the source for each piece of knowledge I have, then I would only be able to remember half as many things.
Why I don't cite my sources.
Yeah.
I can remember where the
I can't tell you
information came
everything I
from.
know. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to know as much if I had to remember that as well.
Well, I think it's probably been long enough for our guest to stand in the corner waiting. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we have a guest today, Harvey. I would like to introduce you to the now infamous my buddy Brandon, who I talk about very frequently on my live streams because we work on short films together and occasionally do music together. It's been a while since that, but mainly work on short films together. And so I'm always talking about my buddy Brandon, and today my buddy Brandon is here to join us on Harvard Pond. There you go.
There we go. I'm in. Hi, guys. Gals. Everybody. Hi. Harv. How's it going?
Hello, Brandon. Welcome to the show.
Well, happy to be here, guys. Happy to be here.
So Brandon and I recently premiered our newest short film, Catch Him If He Strays. And when?
When he strays.
Catch Him While He Strays. I don't know the name. I just
Was
edited
it really
the
was it really your short film as well, Porn?
I don't know. I've been drinking today, so there's that. But yeah, we just recently premiered it. What day was that even that we premiered it?
Last Wednesday. So a week.
Oh, that's why we didn't have a show. Was because and you can't see what Random Aim just cheered with 125 bits. Hi, Brandon and Pawn and Harv. Here's early bits. Can't stay long. Have a great stream. Thank you, Random Aim. By the way, we are going to be opening up our own law firm, Harv and Pawn and Brandon.
I need a better
No,
No,
name.
wasn't
Harv and
supposed to
Pawn
be-
and Fry.
There we
Harv
go.
and Pawn
Yeah.
and Fry. And if you come through the drive-through, you can get fries. And then Pony in chat with Brandon, is Pawn as sexy in real life as he is on the stream? Oh, rude. He's just saying, he's just acting that way because I've made several, non-heterosexual passes at him throughout our career together, so just trying to make sure that his girlfriend is like, okay, that's clear.
Do you need me to like? Shall I go? Should I just leave
Yeah, do you want more
guys?
space at the desk, Brandon? Just move over to your left.
I like the comfort of being close to somebody. I don't do well alone.
I just want to feel the warmth.
This is actually, check this out. This is amazing. This is the first time that this has ever happened in the Harv and Pawn show. I have an object, and I'm going to hand it to another human being who can receive it without it disappearing into the ether.
Holy cramoly! What
Okay, your
voodoo
arm,
magic
Brandon.
have
Pull
you-
your arm back. Lost his forearm there.
I found the ether.
Really? Well, mix me a drink then. Yeah, so Harv and I, or who are you again?
Fire.
Jerry here and I worked on. That's right, Brandon Fire was recently in an article written about the film. Was writer director Brandon Fire. We put this short film together. It has literally been a year
Yes.
since we started.
Yes.
When did shooting begin? Do you remember?
October 1st or 4th or something of 2018. Shooting began over a year ago. Writing began probably in May of 2018. It's been an ordeal.
So it's actually it's more than a year. It took us a year and a month to actually have the thing ready to release. But we got
So
there.
this is actually pretty similar timing to the Harv and Pawn release schedule. Our production
this-
for this show started just over a year ago. So
It's just sort of my
Slightly
schedule of
later.
operation. By the way, those of you looking forward to Kerbal Space Programming coming back to my live streams, first quarter 2021. Just, I know I've already got an idea. We're just going to plan it out. It'll just take me some time.
well, KSP2 might not be out by then still, so you'll have time. But yeah, so man, a year-long project, and it's only just been premiered, and you aren't kind of releasing it everywhere yet. You've had a physical showing in a proper theatre. How many people did you manage to cram in there?
We got 55, I think was the head count, which was just shy of my goal. But I mean, with the initial investment, I think I only lost like $50, and I had a good experience. So, not bad. Yeah, I'll take it.
Worth $50 then, do you think?
Yeah, absolutely.
$50 to premiere, and who was it? What were the other films that were premiering short films, or not short films, but we were at the Main Art Theater in Royal Oak, so they also run, indie films that you're not going to see at the Imagine Theater that's behind the Royal Ark Main Art Theater. But we were running with, who was it that was on our marquee with us?
Ah, yes, some films that I've yet to see, but I'm excited to see. Parasite, Jojo Rabbit, and The Lighthouse, which I've heard nothing but great things about all three of them.
So it was just awesome to share a marquee with that lineup. I'm interested to see Jojo Rabbit too. The others I haven't heard anything about because I don't, I make indie films. I don't follow them. But
I'm out of
Jojo
my
Rabbit.
depth.
Jojo Rabbit is a kid who's got an imaginary friend who is Hitler, and just that and a commentary on modern times and the childish nature of sort of Nazism. I like to say Nazism.
Nazism.
Yeah, make people guess for a minute what you're actually talking about.
Write it down. You'll see it.
Nazism, it just doesn't like, what are you going to do? Nazis? No, you're not going to do that. So just Nazism. Nazism, which is where Jesus was born, in the small town of Nazism.
There's a rule, which is that if any conversation on the internet goes on for long enough, eventually someone will bring up either Hitler or Nazism. I feel like we've made a new all-time record for how quickly it happened on today's stream.
Well, Jojo Rabbit is definitely spiking that Google trend, if you go and see how often things are searched. But that's a good thing. People should actually know about that stuff so that they stop repeating the errors of past. Because it seems like both of our countries are, mined to a greater extent, but both of our countries are having a little bit of sort of a, let's revisit that chapter in history. Brexit.
Hey, don't
walls,
blow your load
Trump.
of your opinions too quickly, because one of our discussion topics for an upcoming show, it's currently being voted on by our glorious, loyal Patreon patrons and our Twitch subscribers.
That could be you.
Yeah, modern day nationalism. It's on there. It's on the list. Have your say. We need you. And you, and you, and you, and so on.
I'm just thinking the intro to Starship Troopers. Is Starship Troopers right now, we need you to fight the thing. And then they got like a little kid in the helmet and that kind of thing.
I'm doing my part.
But yeah, so yeah.
I think we've got quite a big topic on for today.
So yeah.
So yeah. Yeah.
This is funny because actually Brandon and I have a short film called Okay, So. Our first ever short film that we did together, which was just like grab the camcorder and go out and have fun in this big long hallway that was like in the middle of, it was either side of, it connected both sides of this giant shopping mall. So it was just an indoor hallway just to do that. Like just to be a junction. So no one was in there. The place reeked of cigarettes because everyone who worked there went out to smoke in this hallway to stay warm in winter and stuff like that. Disgusting location. We were like, oh my God, an indoor hallway that is just a hallway fight. We got to have a hallway fight. We had a beautiful anime Naruto-inspired hallway fight.
Of course, yeah. I remember seeing a beautiful anime-inspired fight of one of your short films, but you weren't in a hallway, you were out on a field.
Yes. That was actually the second one. So for the premiere event of Catch Him Well as Whenever He Strays.
Therefore.
You just keep on forgetting the title.
Our lineup was actually, we filled the space with 57 minutes worth of content, and it started out with Okay So, which was 10 years ago. We made that thing. And then we followed it up with the one that you're referencing, Harv, which was Catch Him If He's... No. What was that one called? It was just the ATM fight, right?
He got his ass kicked at an ATM, I think was the title.
It's just my clickbait.
Your naming conventions have evolved over time.
In the wrong direction, because that was good clickbait, he got his ass kicked at an ATM. I mean, oh, really? Let me click. And then it turns out to be some jackass's short film. But yeah, so we had a fight, and then we had a fight, and then we had two short films that were by one of the actors, written and starring one of the actors from Catch Him. Although He Strays. I'm just going to keep trying to come up with like new things to stick in there. I'm going to need more prepositions and
Catch him in the event that he strays.
But yeah, we read two of his short films. So there was Jim Married, which was the second one, and the first one was The Finger.
Yes.
The
both
finger.
both comedies, shorts that were really, really fun. And then we got into the darker shit because some of our stuff has been, Brandon and I have worked on. He's the writer, so you blame him for deciding to write things up where it's like post-apocalyptic world. And one man still believes in the power of love. One way that was Bleak. That's out there on your YouTube channel, right? Have you put it back public again?
I have to unprivate it or re-enlist it. It has to be re-enlisted.
Re-unlisted.
Yes, it exists on YouTube. I just took it down for the premiere and have dropped the ball putting it back up.
Yeah, I've seen that one. I'm fairly sure. I think when Roy and I started talking about doing the show, and Roy informed me that his name was indeed Roy.
What?
I then
Who?
went
My
and had
father?
a
Who are you talking
search. I had a search. I came across Porn's IMDb page, and from that, I think I found Bleak, and I wanted to watch it. Yeah, very nice stuff. I've got a question for the both of you actually.
Yeah.
You had this 7, roughly an hour long premiere, and kind of went chronologically through all of your films, starting with the oldest. How do you feel about kind of the quality of what you're making back then? 10 years is a long time. Are you still proud of those ones, or were you a bit embarrassed about them, or how do you guys see them?
Certainly not embarrassed. I recognize it for what it is and recognize it for the starting block, and as dated as it was and as poor film quality it was, there were still laughs from the audience. People still chuckled and enjoyed themselves. I'm still proud of it. It's fun.
Yeah.
I would say that the one that is sort of the weakest, we just didn't show. We had a thing, the rabbit, and we were just well overreaching. Ooh,
Excellent.
Brandon Frye just subscribed. Mosaic Task Force just gifted a subscription to you. So thanks, Brandon.
Hey, happy to. I don't know what happened.
Is that an E in your Twitch username? Isn't it supposed to be a? Is it? How do you spell How do you spell Brandon?
With an O. With an O.
Ah, just. All right.
Oh, okay. I didn't notice that. I thought you were talking about like the E at the end of Fry. I'm like, oh, okay.
No.
Harv's about
Brandon,
to step in the poo on this one. But no, yeah, you're right. Brandon as opposed to Brandon.
Yes.
Oh, I bet now you feel embarrassed. Never mind.
One of my great powers is that I never feel embarrassed.
But that's good then, that you appreciate your older work for what it is and still feel proud of it. So this rabbit one that you didn't show, what was the thinking behind not showing it? Was it just that it was bad, or?
I'm gonna let you start with this one.
Like, it was so, and the other. So yeah, like, I feel looking back on that one, I feel like we were overreaching what we were capable of doing back then. And also, it was a long-winded, like, monologue of just voiceover from me, and I was doing, like, a really, like, childish kind of version of a dark character's voice, so it sounded really stupid. When I look back at that performance. Yeah. But when I take it in as a whole, like, it had a cool thing that it was doing. It was actually, we made paper mache masks for the main characters, and the whole deal was that they were both going to be, like, rabbits. They were both going to have these paper mache rabbit masks. Yep. And, they were evil villains, or one was an evil villain, and one, I don't even remember how it was going to go. But, we had like a large arc of story that we were going to tell with this thing, and it was just, we were well overreaching for what we knew how to do, what we had the equipment to do, and what experience we had with that one. So it starts out strong. Right. The strongest thing in that was the beginning with Lauren.
Yes, Lauren, an old ex-girlfriend, 6 girlfriends ago.
And I playing the first of the evil bunny rabbits, got to beat her in the back of the head with a baseball bat in a parking lot. I think that was the best part of the film.
That video
I think
is...
that's called a donkey punch.
I do believe that video is still public on my YouTube channel. It exists for the world to see.
Ooh.
I will never take it down because it's something that exists and was created, and even bad art has its place.
Yes.
The
You
Rabbit
have to appreciate where you
Purgatorio,
came from.
I believe was
Absolutely.
the full name of that. The Rabbit Purgatorio. But yeah, then we went into, at the premiere, we went into Bleak, which is the post-apocalyptic tale of, just another voiceover thing, but this time I'm not trying to be, where are the drugs? I'm not doing any of that. And then after Bleak was...
Before Bleak was Break Your Heart.
Oh yeah, that's right, Break Your Heart before Bleak.
Properly titled I Am Going to Break Your Heart, but language between us, Break Your Heart.
And I've actually got
And I
the
think
poster,
I remember...
because Brandon has made posters for, like, all of our short films, since Break Your Heart. Yeah. So I've got an 8x11 or something. I don't know what the measurements are.
Yeah,
but
which
it's
is taped up on your wall, isn't it? I think you've shown it in videos.
Yep.
Yeah.
And in fact, behind the green screen, I've got the poster for Ketchum purposefully welts he strays that I could bring out after the break when we get to the break of the show. Yeah. But he's been very,
Wow,
Brandon's taking this shit seriously. Me, I just sit down at the editing bay and cobble crap together.
He makes sense of my ideas. I just spit things out of my brain, and after Roy spends, thousands of hours in the editing bay, it's actually a thing.
No, Brandon, you give him too much credit.
Wait, what? I will show
Yeah,
you the
so this
fucking
has been-
timeline for this thing right now. I digitally removed at least 5 people from the background of different scenes. It's 5 different scenes, 2 different people, I believe, removed from the background of scenes. Old George Lucas style.
Was there a point when you were doing that at which you were just like, this guy looks enough like he could just be a person that's there? Like, why am I doing this?
Actually, there was, with a certain, we had the audio engineer, Jeremy.
Yep.
Who got caught in the background of one of the shots. And, we had a good, tight focal range on the camera. So Jeremy was very much he's sitting on the ground, cross-legged or something. So it's just sort of a blur of an orange face. And you can't, a skin-colored face. And you can't really tell necessarily that it is a face. So I was sitting there going, do we really even need to do anything? And Brandon's like,
Right.
yes. Yes, we do need to do something.
So it's Brandon who is requiring all this extra work to be done, is it?
Yes.
He's the one maintaining quality on our films, yeah.
We were climbing an uphill battle putting this thing together, so it was important we tried our damnedest.
Yeah, and there was a moment where we were going to remove someone's legs that was in the background of a fight scene, because there's a big epic fight scene.
You needed an amputee. You needed an amputee in the background.
Okay, I should have specified. Someone's legs, their legs weren't supposed to be there.
Oh, I see.
So yeah, we were going to remove someone's legs from these shots, and I sat there for 5-7 minutes or something looking at okay, well, if I took a chunk of the floor from over here and I laid it, it's a moving shot, the camera's shaky, I don't think we can do this. And Brandon just goes, yeah, we might have to live with it. It's not like we could just do a digital zoom in. And I just did this. I went, we could just do a digital zoom in! And then boom, that was it. That's all we had to do. And it came out brilliantly too, because the digital zoom actually made the whole camera movement. It was this beautiful sweeping long shot where we come in over someone's shoulder, and by doing the hard zoom in, it was just more of it felt like it was even more planned and staged to get down on the guy who's on the floor. It's an interesting fight scene you're going to be seeing later in the today's
I
show.
was
We should have
gonna
probably
say.
said that earlier, huh?
Yeah. No, I think this is great. We get out all of the interesting bits and quirks and the director's behind the scene commentary before watching the thing, so that we can keep an eye out for it. And be like, oh, there's that zoom. Oh,
Right.
I know why they did that now. Everything's so much more significant.
And now it's easier to be critical because it's like I was sitting here talking about all the hard work they did, and then I watched it, and it was, it was all right.
And then I watched it, and it was the best thing I've ever seen. Oh my god! Wow.
Oh, cool. We're going to put that on the next poster. Thank you, Harv.
Yes.
Direct quote.
The best thing I've
Quote.
ever seen, Harvey Cash.
Hasn't seen movie yet. Brackets underneath that. So the idea for the show today, I think, is the very kind of general loose premise of directing and acting and pretty much just anything that goes into making a short film. So I think it kind of makes sense to focus initially on the film, and let's get quite deep, continue getting quite deep into that, and then we'll show the film, and then we'll go to a break at some point, and then afterwards maybe we'll open it up and be a little more general. So
Okay. So then,
that's our
Brandon,
roadmap, I think.
put you like right on the hot spot. The hell is Catch Him During He Strays about?
Henceforth. Well, without spoiling anything.
It's weird that you're so. I'm just going to acknowledge this before we go any further. This two-shot was designed for me to be alone, so you're way over on that side of things, which is kind of weird. You know what? I'm just going to.
I think I fit really nicely.
I'll just be over
think
here,
it
and
works.
I'll just be the mouth, and then you can lean in a little bit.
Yeah, so like any idea, just random idea shows up in your head. And as someone who likes to write, you write things down and you're like, oh, hey, short film. So the quick pitch, or the synopsis or tagline or whatever the proper term is, a vigilante has been on the loose in this fictional town, metropolis rather, of Sterling City for the better part of a year. And tonight, 2 undercover cops hope to change that. That's the quick pitch. And I don't know why I wanted to do something with cops. I'm not a big cop drama person. So
You're not like NYPD?
no, Blue Bloods. I've heard that's like
I haven't seen that.
I've heard that's bad.
The commish.
Commish. I like Lethal Weapon. That's fun.
Hey, there you go. There you go.
Yeah, so that's the quick pitch.
Wish there was less Jew hating in that film, though.
Is that a feature of Lethal Weapon?
Well, Mel was in it, and not Brooks, which would have, I don't know, that probably would have been more Jew hating because it's just, you have a license when you're
Sure.
Mel Brooks.
Yeah.
Thank you, Pony69. Have you ever watched Old Boy? Oh my God.
Yes.
Brandon actually
Fuck yes.
told me, I've watched Old Boy because
can
Brandon
swear,
said
right?
you have to. No, shut the fuck up. Brandon told me I had to watch Old Boy, so yes.
Yes. Not the
I-
new one.
I
not
have
the
not.
not the who remade it, Spike Lee. I didn't see that one. The original Korean one. Yes. Fantastic.
And it can't be that old because the old one looked, very fucking modern.
Yeah, maybe like 2003-ish, something like
So
that.
it was just
okay.
so good. So many people loved it that they actually we need to remake that 15 years later.
Right? There are no new ideas in Hollywood. At least very few. All the new ideas are, indie films that.
In the indie films, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, is Old Boy the one with that kick-ass hallway fight?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, so I've seen a dissection of that and what made it so good. I've not actually seen the film though. But what I learned from my video watchings was that they tried to kind of do a homage to that scene in the remake and got everything wrong about what made it so good. Apparently the really great thing was that the protagonist is getting stabbed in the back, literally, and getting beaten up, and he's really struggling to carry on, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you are watching him overcome those trials and tribulations. In the new one, he's just
Just a badass.
just a badass who just fights his way through it, gets stabbed in the back in the exact same way, and I think he probably just turns around and something like that. It's just so
Proceeds to just go
inhuman.
Neo on their asses and stuff. He's running up the
Yeah.
walls and flipping, throwing people across the room.
For all I know, yes, that's exactly what was happening. I haven't seen the film, so
Again,
we'll
we're going to
assume
quote you
that's what assumed.
directly in the reviews for Old Boy, Harvey.
Let him rip. It's fine by me. So, Brandon, what would you say is the most challenging thing about what you do?
Um,
Big question, broad
right,
question.
right.
What was the worst night of filmmaking, and then turn that into the answer, basically.
The worst night of filmmaking was also the most fun. The fight scene. We were probably all on set for the better part of 12 hours in a hot garage. And this was my first time filming a fight scene, but my research had led me to understand that just like film it in sequence. You've got your master fight, and then take it in chunks or blocks and kind of progressively move through each block, making sure you get all the shots you want in that, block A, and then, So 12 hours in a hot garage, exhausted by the end of the night, everybody's frustrated, and, punches could have been thrown, but we didn't get there.
Except in the film.
Right. But at the same
I was going
time,
to say, if you were filming a fight scene, then hopefully there were punches thrown. Right?
right. The cinematographer and I didn't come to blows. There might have been a harsh word or two, but that was definitely the most stressful night filming. But at the same time, when you had just moments of film magic or happenstance, we got some really beautiful shots and takes, and for as much frustration, there were a lot of laughs. Yeah.
And so is that then something separate from what Harv asked, which is like, what do you find the most difficult thing, in going, because you write and you've directed, and like recently you've been communicating to me, I'm kind of over the directing bit.
Yeah.
Especially
really?
in like short film, like I'll just say this just from watching you in the short film industry, being the director is just being the director, the producer, the assistant director, the assistant producer, like it's
Yes.
everything all at once while you're supposed to be like writing and maintaining like, what's the story and can I help my actors get into the headspace and what are our angles going to be, and like you're supposed to have this mind for certain things that other people usually have the job for in real production, and you just end up being everything.
And yes, to parallel that is pre-production in general is the most just stressful, frustrating part about doing this. Having to be the one to organize the call sheets and round up the actors and make sure the props are prepared and taken care of. And I also have to be the one to make sure I've got the food to feed my people.
Craft services.
Because I'm working with, essentially no budget. It's coming all out of my own pocket. I have to do my own headhunting for crew and try to wrangle people who are passionate enough about making films that they want to do it because they love it, not necessarily because they're looking for a paycheck. Here in Metro Detroit, we've got the Motion Picture Institute, MPI, I think is what they go by. So there's an entire group of young kids, upwards to older adults, who've built this network for themselves, and they all pool off of each other's resources and find funding and whatever else they do. But I and Roy and this little posse I've built are the outsiders. We don't have those people or have those resources, so it makes pre-production incredibly insane.
Oh. I mean, not to get too potentially politicky, but why are you guys outsiders from that?
Well, didn't go to the school for one. Two, we started off playing music, and film just be kind of just came a thing. We were like, oh, this is fun. Let's do this. And have definitely made friends and connections along the way. as we've broadened our horizons beyond just doing things just the two of us.
Yeah, so it's nothing that's necessarily like, oh, fuck those guys. It's just,
Right.
it's more like we didn't run in the same circles.
Yep.
And so, like, most of our ins that we have are ins that go directly through, like, one or two people. Like, you start with one person and say, do you know someone who can do audio engineering for the shoot?
Right.
And they're like, yeah, I know, like, 3 different people. You don't want to work with that person.
Yeah, and I should add that be it actors or crew members, be they other outsiders or people affiliated with the Motion Picture Institute, filmmaking in general has been, nothing but a positive experience. It's been great meeting a lot of people who all, we've all got the same goal, and that's to make films.
And I have been
awesome.
keeping a, distant eye on chat, Sir Emo Chappington, talking about loving a good fight scene, and so many films out there can't do them well. I think, for the fact that we were no budget thing and, no special effects apart from removing entire human beings from the backgrounds of scenes. I think we did pretty damn well, just working with the camera and working with the, we had 2 incredibly good actors for this, people who are very experienced with fight choreography. One of them being a amateur professional wrestler,
Yes.
Justin
wow.
Maine?
Maine. Yes.
Maine. Justin Maine. And then we can now say it. We were actually, it's a weird situation to be in because, like, it's a small, short film, and like Brandon's saying, we're outside of, like, the larger community of people in the local area who are doing it. But we had, like, a big reveal for, like, our star actor. And it was just weird to be in this situation where it's like, so we can't just tell people that he's in it? And yeah, it
what
was just
the
like,
kind
the
of
idea
cause of that?
was because he's in, like, he is part of that tapped-in community. So it's going to be, like, a big, like, reveal for that community to see because he's just listed as the fight choreographer in the, like, pre-release notes and the publications and stuff like that. Just, oh, you did some fight choreography. Okay, maybe I'll see it, maybe I won't. For the people who showed up to see it, it was like, oh, you're in it! You're the main bad guy!
Well,
We can now say
spoiled
who,
it now,
right?
Paul.
I mean...
Yeah, I mean, we can say who now. They're, well, maybe not. Maybe after.
Okay.
After we show it.
Well,
Sure.
yeah, just because we're in the
Yeah.
habit.
I'm sure
Yeah,
most of the people watching
Keep the big
won't
reveal.
know.
Have
But,
it.
yeah.
Relive it again.
We have Tom Cruise will be jumping on a sofa. No, shit, I said it. Damn it.
I flew to America, and it is I that was actually your. Sorry, I'm
Actually,
gonna ruin it, but
you are in the film, though, Harvey. That's something that we
Yes.
haven't alluded to the entire time. Harv is in the film. In fact, he's like the lead character for the first minute and a half of the film.
Yep.
Basically, did some voice work
Am
for
I?
us. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. And after we see the film and come back from break and all that sort of a thing, it's going to be a great opportunity for us to dig into your head about, like, voice acting and your experience there and how you get into the place. And
So this must be, Harvey, this will be, have you seen the film?
no, I've not seen it. This is my first viewing. Yeah.
Okay. Right on. Very cool.
So you get to have my live reaction to it as well. I'll try and
recording
filter out
this.
the negative.
We're recording this, right? I can just slap his audio commentary over it for the DVD.
Yeah. No, my impression was that our raw output from this stream will be on the Blu-ray.
I like it.
can you afford a Blu-ray publishing, like, pressing? Is that
No, MP4. MP4.
Actually, interesting point. Is there going to be a way that people can buy this to give you money for having made this? Have you got plans for that?
The only thing I've set up, so I personally am, while I've had no direct experience with it, I'm not a fan of Kickstarter. I don't necessarily like the concept of, hey, people pay me now for something I'm going to do. So there is a PayPal account set up that I announced at the premiere and have, linked to on Facebook, Instagram, whatever. For anyone who liked the film and wants to support it, any money coming through the PayPal account goes directly toward submissions for film festivals. So that's the only monetary plan.
Is it a PayPal.me?
Yep. PayPal.me/dog in a bathtub.
All one word?
Yep. All one word.
Yeah, that's the name of the production studio. Dog in a bathtub. And just stay off of, what's the site that's Urban Dictionary?
Yes.
Don't look that up. Don't look that up.
Oh,
We've been operating under the title
no.
Dog in a Bathtub for a while now.
Yep. And at the premiere was the first time we were almost called out on it. No.
Oh, well, you've made a mistake now by saying that,
Yes.
because I know people in this chat are going to go look it up and tell us. So expect that in a few minutes once the stream delay and so on is given them a chance to do that.
As long as the words don't have to come out of my mouth, I'm okay.
But that's the thing,
Yes,
is
you're not
like
officially misrepresenting your film crew.
Yes.
the fun of it and the fact that it still works as like a production house kind of a name is because, making a short film, guerrilla filmmaking style on no budget is like trying to keep a dog in a bathtub. It is
Absolutely.
like trying to give a dog a bath that it doesn't want. It is, you end up finding out that, oh, am I the audio engineer tonight? Apparently you're on lighting. Anybody paying attention to continuity? And just everybody gets the jobs that they get because you've got, 6 to 12 people on set. How many people did you have, like, on the maximum head count for Catch Him Under He Strays? Just reaching for prepositions.
Wow. Actors and crew?
Yeah.
Cast and crew total? Probably 14 or so. Biggest production we've done, and I know, Hollywood people are operating with crews of thousands. So, but 14 is a lot.
But that actually makes it easier on, like, the director, know?
Right.
You have all those
Yeah, they
people who
actually
you
have-
can just... the director just goes to, like, the head of the lighting thing and says, that guy's an asshole, get him out of here, as opposed to having to, be the lighting guy or go over to that guy and say, okay, I like what you're doing, but what if we did it not stupid?
Right.
And
Yeah, I mean,
just
even
not to say anything about lighting. That was an example. It was just,
as the...
Everyone watching the film, watch out for the lighting. Pay attention to.
Yeah, I mean, as the writer, director, producer, the amount of times that I physically ran from the car to the garage or basement to get a light or get a prop. I made use of my production assistants as much as I could, but, their hands were tied. It needed to get done. So roll up my sleeves, do it myself.
what's Peter, Lord of the Rings, just like sits behind 15 monitors and just like has people run shit across the country, New Zealand, just all of New Zealand is working for him, and he's just like, action.
Burp included.
Peter Jackson.
Yes.
So Brandon, Roy Pawn, I don't know which one to call you on. I should call you Pawn.
It's in the branding.
Said that, so you're finding kind of all that pre-production, post-production, the directing, maybe not as great. Is it the writing that you're wanting to focus on? What is it about it that is like the main thing you would rather be doing?
I've always loved the writing. That was always like first and foremost where I started. And I've loved physically being behind the camera. The last two productions we've done, I made an effort to try to step away from being behind it so that I could try to be a better director. And I just didn't like that as much. So I'd rather write and, operate camera. I've had some positive experiences in the sense of like working with actors and directing them. That has been an enjoyable process, but having to be the guy who's doing all of the pre-production and, checking in with everybody and feeding everybody. So the producer maybe that's what that should be called in an indie film. That's just too much. I've got gray hairs now.
Well, and I think would it be like the assistant producer in particular who's supposed to be the one who's like getting ulcers from trying to get the scheduling? It's either assistant director, it's either AD or AP, right?
I think assistant directors typically those people. Yeah.
Trying to get permission to
It's
be on
interesting,
site. And producer's supposed to be like worrying about whether or not we can get insurance for the next scene.
Right.
You mentioned that like you tried not being behind the camera and just kind of didn't feel right. I've had a glimpse at that feeling myself. So the thing I most recently directed, if you could call it that, was a music video that I did. And it was just me and one friend. I was the only actor in it, although his hand would come in off screen occasionally. And I had storyboarded everything out. I knew exactly the framing and the shots that I wanted. And just trying to communicate that verbally to him, I found that it's like, oh, he's doing what I'm telling him to do. I just can't express what needs doing and like sufficient accuracy to have it match with my, my vision of it in my head. And so there are loads of bits that I kind of was like, okay, yeah, that's great, but just, and then grabbed his hands and just moved, moved where I wanted it to be. Okay, stay there.
Yep, I've been guilty of that as well.
Yes, hologram in the chat says, do as I want and not as I say. AR. Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Find out what I want.
It is its own like whole skill set of just being able to, I mean, that is what a director properly does is, inspire people and manage people and help them with their words and with like, I mean, what's Citizen Kane? The scene that took them 14 hours or something to shoot, I think is the legend or something like that. They actually dug a hole in the ground so that they could get the camera low enough for the right angle. And when you, like, the way that they talk about that, it kind of seems as though the whole point of that, of everything that the director did that night was to frustrate and piss off the actors and keep them there for 14 hours until they fucking hated him and they wanted to go home just so that they could get the one take of the scene that he wanted where the dude is genuinely like, fuck you! And he brings that to the role because the director has like poked everybody all day long until you're just raw edges, and that's what he wanted, so he got it. Who was
Brandon,
that?
have you ever had an actor shout "fuck you" at you?
Not yet, which is fortunate because most of the people I've worked with were friends first before they were actors.
That's a problem.
But I could certainly see the day coming. Yes, I won't rule it out.
Which is why he's trying to get out of being a director.
Right.
Yeah, let someone else handle that.
So we are coming up on the
well.
turn of the hour here. Should we
Yeah, I was gonna say.
not blue ball everybody any longer and actually show them the film? Catch him as though he strayed?
It's when.
Oh, catch him when he strays. That's it, right? Yeah. Did I get it right that time? See, I've said it wrong so many times.
When.
Okay. Catch him
Like
when
cool.
he strays. All right, then, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you're seeing it here first, and you won't see it again on YouTube for a good long time because the film is going to be making the rounds at the indie film festivals. So we're going to be keeping it off of YouTube as its own thing. It's only going to be available here and in the VOD of this Harvin Pawn for quite some time. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you, Catch Him When He Strays.
Is not a hero.
I'm not saying he's
To date,
a hero.
14 men and 1 woman have been assaulted and hospitalized.
All right.
Most of them
Okay.
with life-altering injuries. I don't know how you can possibly.
I'm not saying he's a hero.
Oh,
These
come
attacks have been heinous, but it must be acknowledged that every one of these so-called victims has a record of
You are
causing
talking
physical
about
violence on others. I
anarchy.
mean, you have to see
So
the
so
irony
these
in
attacks
it.
are justified?
I'm not saying
How can
that.
anyone even consider
I'm not saying
justifying?
that either, but the ineffectiveness of our current criminal justice system
No,
is
this
worthy
is
of at
not
least a
justice.
conversation.
Shut up. Listen to me.
Okay.
Let me
This
stop you
man
right there,
has
Mr.
taken it
Austin.
upon himself to punish people who have already served the sentence that society
Hold on.
deems
For those of you just
appropriate
tuning in, my guests are Sterling City's District Attorney, Elliot Austin, and journalist for the Sterling Press, Zoe Anderson. We're discussing the attacks perpetrated against civilians of Sterling County over the past 11 months.
How do they know this shit? You know what I think?
There's some motherfucking rat in the department. Do you know what the fuck that means? That means some motherfucker.
Hello? Come in.
Yeah, still here. Still waiting. Some prick in blues is going behind the chief. Disrespected the badge, you know? Disrespecting me. Disrespecting you. You probably got somewhere better to be, right? What time is it?
Almost midnight.
Yeah, my point exactly. You could have been doing whatever weird shit you do when you ain't on the job. But instead, here you are listening to me run my fucking mouth. These lips should be wrapped around a pair of titties. But no. No titties, just this fucking sandwich. These pricks really have some nerve messing with my time. You think this prick's even gonna show?
Who knows?
Probably a dead lead. Some old lady sees a black dude strolling through her neighborhood, so he must be a fucking crook. Bet you get that all the time.
Guess I always thought reconnecting when I'm the oh, fuck! So a friend took me to the bar, tried to help me through it. Helped me realize I was too heavy alone. I found myself repeating to him, I didn't think you'd actually do it. So you got married. Bet you get carried you to the door, and you wrote to tell me that you can't let me love you anymore. Just 'cause I don't get you, don't mean I'll forget you.
Get you one day.
Just 'cause I don't get you.
Here's him. I'd like to get a few licks and teach him some manners. Sure the chief wouldn't mind.
You should use a napkin.
What?
And wear a watch.
That's what phones are for. Hell, I should record this. We're gonna be heroes. It'd only be right to let him rough up the target, though. Fucking wife beater.
Yeah, man.
Don't hit them unless they ask for it, you know?
Sure isn't it?
What's your take on this prick anyways? Why's it cut their hands off?
Beast man.
I got 200 right on him being some religious nut. Cutting off dudes' jerking hands. You're a social fucking butterfly, Ray. You know, Tony was pissed we got this assignment. Said he would have wrote a book and sold it to movie studios. Maybe we'll go on talk shows.
I doubt that.
Yeah, you don't really have that, what's the word, charisma. Best leave all the talking to me. Just think of all the tale, man. Heroes.
Aren't you engaged?
Just 'cause I don't get you.
A man shouldn't have to ask for some rural attention, that's all I'm saying. Makes a man feel like a man, you know? Hashtag me too. Damn. Oh, fuck, there he is. Let's go.
Not yet. Let me get inside first.
Right. Public corner. Holy shit, it's really him. Holy mother.
You need to calm down. If you go in there for raging hard on, you won't be walking out.
You nervous? Maybe. You're the rat. Yeah? I mean, you've been with the Force for what? 10 years or something? Nobody knows a thing about you. There's only two types of people that keep themselves the way you do. Perverts. Spies. You a pervert?
You better have some hard evidence if you want to make accusations.
Just messing with you, man. Don't get testy. God, I'm amped up. We're putting that asshole on the disability list tonight.
Get your ass in check. We're bringing him in alive and unharmed.
What the fuck?
I'm going in.
Wait!
The fuck do you want?
Your hand. It's locked.
Holy shit.
What's going on?
They're about to fuck each other up. Over some firearms.
Call for backup.
Radio's in the car.
There's more than go get it.
No, man, we got this. There's another door around back.
Go check it out. I'll cover this side.